Dustin Poirier will, for the third time, beat Max Holloway. Why do I say that? That's my official prediction. Why do I say that? Well, I can't praise Max enough. I think Max is just an all-time great. I just really impressed with Max, but there's also never been a time I've spoke like this. I've never picked up against Max ever. I had Max over Ilya. I had Max over Gaethje, which you're going to think in hindsight, that's not a big prediction. Max was a 3-1 underdog. It was a very big prediction by me. So I'm picking against Max. I wasn't against Max the first time that he fought Dustin, or the second time rather. The second, I missed the first one. The second time he fought Dustin, I was there live. I picked Max. Like I've never gone against him, and I only share that because it's not a commentary at all on Max's skills. It's a fact that they fought not once but twice. Listen, there was a big deal with Tony Ferguson. And Tony had lost, I think, was it 8 fights in a row? Tony had lost 8 fights in a row. But the big deal came at 4. Very few guys can lose 3 in a row and maintain television and co-main and main event spots. And Tony did. So, after he lost 3, there were some people kind of looking at when he lost 4 is when the calls came for, okay, hey, maybe we've gone far enough. When he lost 5, it was a wrap. It was a wrap where everyone's like, well, hey, even if they bring him back, it won't be in a big spot, so that's not going to entice him, so I don't think we're going to have to deal with him again. When we got to 6, it was over, and there wasn't a conversation. So then there was a surprise when it got to 7, and then ultimately number 8. Now, I didn't have the hugest problem with Tony dropping those 5 fights, 6 fights, or even 8 fights. Those guys were killers. What I had a problem with that I thought should be looked at is that within those fights, he had not won a round. So I didn't look at it as though we went 0-8. We lost 24 straight rounds. And I only even bring that Tony example in because it's someone you love and a name that you would know. But I want to make that comparison because I don't feel the same as I didn't feel Tony was on that skid the same way you guys did. I don't feel that Max has lost 2 fights to Dustin. I believe that Max has lost 7 of 7 rounds. They've only done 7 rounds. They all went for Poirier. And I think that might influence you a little bit. I think maybe to hear it that way might influence you. There's a rematch coming up that is not necessary. And it's Ankalaev versus Pereira. But there is no point in that first fight where you can identify something. Even if it just changes the round. It doesn't exist. There was nothing that would lead a trained eye to believe if you do this again, you're going to have a different outcome. In fact, it was just the opposite. It was just a conflicting style where you knew if they do it again, this same guy in Ankalaev he's going to find a way, and they're going to be close, and they're going to be competitive, and nobody's going to kick the hell out of the other one, but the outcome isn't going to flip. Now, they're even money, guys. My partners right now at DraftKings, they're even money. So, you guys are seeing something that I'm not. I'm making my case to you. I'm bringing up the rounds. I'm bringing up the history. I haven't even got to the fact that this is Dustin weight class. I mean, you're the ones that made a big deal about it when Max slid up to fight Gaethje. You're the ones that made a big deal about it 2 weeks ago when Ilya moved up to Charles. And all of a sudden, you're not talking about the fact that Max was just a 45-pounder. And when I do add that in, there's overwhelming support. Not to mention, there's a myth. It's not true. but it's still believed to be true, so it would factor in to your predictions, factor into your betting lines. The myth is that you can have a home field advantage. There is no advantage in home field, not in our sport. It is hometown disadvantage for a number of different reasons. But before we get into those, you believe it is an advantage. So that would again strengthen Dustin. Everything here that we've laid out all favors Dustin. But you have it at even money. And I want to hear you out. I know that you know something that I don't. I know as I lay this out for you, I'm not seeing something that you believe that you are. Please leave me a comment. Please tell me what that something is.